Welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's DealerOn webinar, 5 Inspiring Lessons from World Record Holder Ali Reda. My name is Eliana Raggio, and I'll be your moderator today. Today's webinar is being presented by DealerOn. For anyone who isn't familiar with DealerOn, we're an award-winning website development company and digital agency, best known for our amazing SEO, the best customer service, and the highest converting website designs in the industry, including the award-winning Chameleon responsive website platform. After NADA, we were awarded the Driving Sales Dealer Satisfaction Award for top-rated websites for an unprecedented 7th year in a row. We also took home the AWA Award for Best Websites, plus FCA announced that we're now an approved vendor. Big things are always happening over here at DealerOn. We're still the only company in the industry that offers a money-back lead guarantee program. Do you want to know more? Yeah, you do. You can check us out at our gorgeous brand new DealerOn website at DealerOn.com. And we have a webinar exclusive special for you. If you're a Honda, Chevy, or Toyota dealer, you can save almost $5,000 a year on the industry's best SEO. Sounds good, right? Just check yes at the end of the webinar in the survey, and we're going to make some magic happen for you. So remember, it's a webinar-only exclusive deal from your friends at DealerOn. We have a great show in store for you today. We have not one, but two incredible experts today. First, Ali Reda recently broke the 44-year-old world record for most cars sold in 1 year. As a master sales consultant at Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac in Dearborn, Michigan, he sold an incredible 1,582 cars in 2017. Woo! He's still here to tell the story about it. He credits his success to the relationship model of selling. Reda is also a faculty member at the Auto Training Academy, an online resource for salespeople in the automotive business. Additionally, he's the co-author of the book, How to Sell 100 Cars a Month. Ali is a highly respected member of the automotive community, and he can be reached at Ali_Reda at lesstanford.com. Joining Ali today is his good friend, Damian Boudreaux. He's a national motivational speaker for the automotive industry and founder of Auto Training Academy. With 35 years of industry expertise, Damian's philosophy for the training program is simple. This business is about people, and the key to incredible success is to build lifelong relationships so that you can be profitable and proud of what you do. His unique approach to relationship selling has positively affected thousands of people who desire to operate at a higher sales level. Damian is Ali's co-author, has a solid reputation for honesty and integrity, and he can be reached at Damian at autotrainingacademy.com. And you can see Damian live and in person talking about this relationship model of selling at one of these upcoming speaking engagements. He's going to be in Cleveland, Ohio, June 5th and 6th, and at Shreveport, Louisiana, on June 21st and 22nd. Believe me, you will not want to miss this. If you can make either of these events, contact Bob Moore for tickets and more information. You're going to want to. And during the presentation, if you have any questions, please use the question feature located on the corner of your screen to submit them. At the end of the presentation, we'll answer those questions of general interest. If we're unable to get to your question live, don't worry, we're going to try to respond by email later today. Don't forget, a link to download a copy of this webinar recording will also be emailed to you later today for your reference. Please feel free to share it with your friends and colleagues. Ooh, and guess what, people? Our good friends over at Auto Training Academy are giving away some great prizes on today's webinar. First, 2 of you lucky webinar attendees are going to win a signed copy of Keep It Simple Selling and How to Sell 100 Cars a Month. You're going to win both of those books. And then one very lucky webinar attendee is not only going to win the 2 signed books, they're also going to score a private coaching call with both Ali Reda and Damian Boudreaux. People, I am telling you, there is no value you can put on this. This is priceless. Here's the deal, though. You have to be here for the live broadcast to score any of these amazing giveaways. So stay tuned, and who knows, you might be the one walking away with one of these amazing prizes today. Also, at the conclusion of this webinar, you're going to get a short survey, so fill it out. We're always looking for quality feedback from our audience, and we want your opinion to be heard. And hey, do you tweet much? We hope you do. We'd love to see what you have to say about today's presentation. You can reach out to me. You can use hashtag DealerOnWebby. I'm at Eliana Raggio. You can also hit up Ali Reda at Les Stanford and Damian Boudreaux at, you guessed it, Damian Boudreaux. We look forward to seeing what you're saying. All right, everyone, let's get started. Let's learn 5 inspiring lessons from world record holder Ali Reda. Ali, I hunted you down online until I could get you on here.
Yes, you sure did. You sure did. Thank you so much for having me on.
So excited to have you here. And in speaking to you, I found out so much interesting information about you, not the least of which was that this wasn't just a, once in a while thing. You've been building up to this world record for how many years did you say?
Sure, 17 years now.
17 years you've been trying to break this record. Holy moly. So that's how long you've been a salesperson in the auto industry, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, great.
17 years, Chevrolet, Cadillac.
And when we discussed doing this today, this is much different from the other things that you've been doing. You've been making the rounds, you've been on TV a lot, and this world record thing has gotten a lot of people to know your name. And basically, they've just been interviewing you. But today, we're actually going to talk about the things that led to the mindset of you selling so many cars a month and, of course, in a year. So I'm really, really excited. This is going to be educational for everyone. So thank you.
Thank you, Eliana. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you to DealerOn for having us on, and we're extremely excited to be here.
It's definitely our pleasure.
This is great. This is great.
And when we discussed doing this, you said, I would love to, but I can't do it without my buddy, Damian. And so you brought Damian along, Damian Boudreaux. How long have you known Ali?
We met in 2010. He was at one of my seminars. He was the third row. He was taking so many notes. I thought I was doing a good job.
And so then, I mean, it's amazing. And then you wound up coming up with this book, How to Sell 100 Cars in a Month. And I'm just trying to figure this out. You sold 1,500 plus cars. That's more than 100 cars in a month. So I don't know if you're going to cover the evolution of how you two met and then decided, hey, this 100 car a month thing, we could do this. And then, I mean, Damian, I know you consider yourself his friend, but do you also consider yourself like a trainer for him?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm his friend. The relationship between a coach and the student grows. And after 7 years, you just grow to where you know and trust and love each other a lot. And as this journey has gone on, the coach's first job is to challenge the student, to ask questions that put him in uncomfort, to make him go, oh, I didn't think of that. Well, maybe that's, we'll talk about, in the thing about mindset and stuff, but he's a great student.
Well, I would dare say he might be your best student. I don't know. We'll see. Okay.
I have a lot of good students. We have a lot of, and I'll tell you about the How to Sell 100 Cars book, how it came about and why. I think 2015 maybe, he said, I want to give back. It might have been 2016, but how can I start helping you? How can I start, helping other salespeople? And, he said, well, you can teach. How'd that work out, Ali?
That's why he's here today.
He sucked at it, but at least he hated it. So.
Okay, because I think what we're going to be learning today, audience, is what you're going to find is that what Damian has come up with and has then, taught to Ali, and Ali has turned it into, hey, this really works, is not like anything else you have been taught before. It's not the same stuff. And that's why it works exclusively for only those people who know about it and then follow it religiously. And so if you are a salesperson or a manager or a dealer, you are going to be hearing about a sales process that you probably have not ever considered before. Because if you had, well, then you'd probably be selling 100 cars per month as well. So where do we start, Damian?
Well, let's start with a poll question.
I think that's a great idea. Let's do that. All right, audience, we're going to start off with a poll question, and we're going to do it a little differently than we've ever done it before in DealerOn webinar history before. So we're going to ask you to answer this poll question for us, but you're not going to find out the results until later on in the show. All right, so the question is, why do you think, salespeople quit, fail or underachieve in the auto industry? We want to know what you think. And if we're being honest, if you're not at least a 30 plus a month car sales guy in the industry, and you're not doing 100 car sales per month either, then one could argue that there's room to improve and you could achieve more. So what do you think is holding you back is really what we're getting at. So please select one of the following answers. Do you believe it's poor management support? Do you think it's the pay plan? Maybe it's not enough money, not enough motivation to push you? Do you think there's not enough dealership training? Or maybe it's not enough good dealership training? Do you think salespeople are just inherently lazy? I guess that could be one of the answers. Or do you think that the dealership is not advertising enough, getting you enough leads, or the leads that you're getting are just crappy? We want to know what you think salespeople quit, fail, or underachieve in the auto industry. I hope that I have left the poll question open long enough. We do have a majority of the votes in. So I am going to thank the audience for their votes. I'm going to close this poll, and I am going to share the results later on in the show. So thank you everyone for your votes. And I do have to say, a lot of you voted. Almost everyone has voted. So thank you so much, audience. And Damian, when you're ready, go right on ahead. Where do we go from here?
So first of all, I like Ali, would like to thank everybody. There's a lot of people here who don't know us, so it's really nice to meet you. And we look forward to helping as many people as we can. Just so you know, the objective of what Ali and I are doing is we want salespeople to build and live a life of their dreams. And Ali said, I'd like to give back. And in 2016, we started the journey of finding ways to accomplish that. And the book became the first way. Here's how we thought. Here's the message he wanted to get out to salespeople. Because truly, the book is not about selling 100 cars. The book is about just salespeople going from 8 to 14 or 14 to 22 or working 6 days a week to working 5 days a week, being at home at 6 o'clock in the afternoon to watch Wheel of Fortune 3 days with your family. It's about a better quality of life. It's about having things that you want. And, you know, my hat's off to Ali because we worked all the time and he decided he wanted to do this. Ali, you want to jump in on that?
Yeah. I mean, and that was one of the biggest things too, Damon. When I started sharing, I've learned so much just by sharing, and it just made me aware of what I'm doing, and it made me a better person. And now I'm addicted. Now I really want to share, and I want to help people, and like you said, I want to give back. And you know, I'm not a teacher, I'm not a coach. I can tell you real life stories about how I did it and how I got there and how I felt while I was doing it, but I may not be able to tell you exactly how you can do it. And that's why Damian is here, and that's why he is so good, because he could understand the teaching portion of it.
Yeah, so salespeople, Ali's going to tell you exactly, this is the first things you have to do. This is what we want for you and why he's doing it. So go ahead, Ali.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is, of course, being proud of what you do. I mean, at some point, we got this stigma of a car salesman, right? And people were not proud of being a car salesman, and you were afraid to tell people that's what you were doing. And you know, I don't believe that. I'm not like that. My coworkers are not like that. The people I know, my family, friends that sell cars are not like that. So, you know, I'm extremely proud of what I do, and I let everybody know what I do. And you know, on the way to work, I'm extremely happy to go there, and it's in my heart and it's in my mind. And you know, that's the first thing that mindset that you got to have going into work. If I'm driving into work and I'm thinking in my mind, oh God, I gotta go there today, or wake up and I'm dreading getting up to go there, there's a real problem. And that mindset needs to shift. And you need to be you and only you. I only know how to be me. So I don't know how to be something that I'm not. So I'm not pretending to be the teacher. I'm not pretending to be the coach. I can't do that right now. So, you know, I'm happy with who I am. I'm extremely happy with who I am, and this is what you get. And that's going to come off on your clients and customers and your coworkers and your family at home. And it's not just about being comfortable with who you are at the dealership. It's in life. And these are things that I've taken away from learning things from Damian. So, I'm pretty confident that that's the first step that people need to kind of put in their mind.
Yeah, just being real. When salespeople can talk from their heart and not have to be apologetic or omit or not think before they talk, they can just, there I am. Everybody's sales go up. Everybody's productivity goes up. But it's about being you. It's not, stop sounding like a car salesman.
Yeah, you can't read a script. You can't read the word tracks and sound like the last 10 people. And I'm going to tell you that it's not just for speaking in front of somebody. That's on emails. That's on the phone. That's on everything, any kind of communication, on text messages. If you talk to somebody today and they come back 2 weeks later and you sound different, then there's a problem. If you see somebody at a grocery store and one of your clients and you talk to them at the grocery store, you sound different than you did at the dealership, there's a problem. These are red flags. So being aware of these surroundings and how you sound and what you do, and you can't say something that doesn't make you feel comfortable, right? You won't say it to your mother. Why are you going to say it to somebody else? So if a manager tells you, hey, go back and say this, and you're not comfortable saying it, that's going to come off on that client. It's going to come off the wrong way. You're going to sound like the car salesman that everybody kind of perceives us to be. And we need to switch that mentality a little bit, Damian, to be more of an advisor. And I think we'll get on that a little bit more. But that goes back to that mindset.
Yeah. And so before I start this insight number two, number two, I want to tell you, when we're doing this next section, dealers, we want to know we honor you, we love you, we appreciate you. You do so much for the community. You pay the bills for my family. You help people come to work there. So when I'm going into this next piece, please take it from a perspective, from the salesperson's perspective. We know you're doing the best you can. And this might tweak a couple of people. This might make you go, oh no, you know, and some of you might just get woke. Salespeople, you need to wake up. Right now, this is for you. Auto dealers teach selling in a way that works for their business. Management works for their business. Now, here's the question, salespeople. Does that selling style work for you? And here's what the dealer has to work with, salespeople. Here's the business part. They got to make money. They got to build a scalable business. They got to be successful. They've got to understand that in spite of everything, they've got to be profitable. And here's the numbers they work with. The first number they work with is 71.9% salespeople. That's how many salespeople are going to fail the first year they get in the car business. 71.9. Remember, your dealer has to look at those numbers and go, okay, I know 70% of the people ain't going to make it. That I know. And then they also know that 8 out of 10 salespeople are going to jump from dealership to dealership to dealership, praying the grass is greener. Oh, there's a shinier Chevrolet over there. They got a better pay plan. The good manager went over there. The bad manager came over here. I need to go over there. All kind of reasons that you are jumping around praying that, here, salespeople, you know there's more. You know there's more in your heart. So you jump around because you're either frustrated with the problem at this store or you know there's a possibility at the other store. You know you should do more, but you're not doing it. Here's the next thing your sales dealers know. The number 10. In 1975, the average car salesman in the United States sold 10. In 1995, the average car salesman in the United States sold 10. In 2015, the average car salesman in the United States sold 10. Dealers know this. If they want to build a scalable business, then what they have to do is say, okay, I know they're going to sell 10 cars. I know I want to sell 100 cars. I need to hire 10 salesmen. If I want to sell 200 cars, I need 20 salesmen. If I want to sell 300 cars, I need 30 salesmen. Because they know the average is going to sell 10. 8 out of 10 are going to jump from dealership to dealership. 71% ain't going to make it at all. And then they go, okay, now I know those numbers. Now, if I just throw $400 a unit at advertising, praying that the customers come into my dealership, my internet department, my BDC department, then, oh my God, then if I can just get them, then I'm going to build a scalable business. And dealers are profitable. They're successful. They throw the dollars, the customers come in, and then they got to train you. And they train you to manage those customers. Now, the dealer's training model is designed to train you on managing those customers, handling those customers. They help you with what's known as a transactional selling style, right? They teach you that you got to dress a certain way, maybe a name tag. You know what? Oh, you got to introduce yourself, welcome to the dealership, you know, and talk like that. And then they say the customer's going to have objections, right? When they have objections, here's the way to master objections. Go watch the video. We have a trainer teach you to master the objections. The goal is to get a sales process, a road to the sale, 10-step commandments, 12-step program. Learn these, study these. Nobody ever remembers that shit, but still, you got to do it. And then you got to learn how to be in compliance. You got to do a walk-around presentation. You got to do a demo ride. You got to go ahead and learn how to follow the rules, do the credit application right, put them in the CRM, yeah? Negotiate. We're going to teach you 50 closes. 50 closes. You're going to get this stuff right. I'm going to tell you, you're going to be a genius at closing. And they teach you all this stuff, how to do a delivery, right? How to follow up after the customer buys it. And you learn that, and the average salesperson sells 20. Now, the manager says, you can make $100,000 a year at this business. And all you have to do is sell people on liking you, trusting you, and believing in you. And then they might buy from you. And so we're going to send the people to you. They're going to come in. You're going to do that. You talk to 60 people, you sell 8 to 14 cars a month. And that's your business model. That's the training. However, there are salespeople who want more. High achievement. They say, this is not enough. I'm going to get good at this. And what they do is they say, I'm going to get good at the word tracks. I'm going to get good at the closes. I'm going to get good at the walk around. I'm going to market myself. I'm going to run advertisements. I'm going to spend money on a website. I'm going to accomplish this. I'm going to kiss the manager's butt. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And they do all kinds of things, and they become a master at what we teach in the car business, transactional selling. And they might close 35%. They might start advertising it in their own people in. And that's what happens. And you end up having people who talk to 60 and might sell 18 to 30. And then they trap. Now, salespeople, listen now, they're going to throw you a carrot. They're going to say, oh, but the magic is repeat and referrals. And if you stay at this dealership 5-7 years, you might get 3 or 4 deals a month on repeats and referrals. And that's crumbs. That ain't no money. You can't start me off day one saying that's where the money is, because that's not where the money is. And that is what we teach in the car business. That's the Reader's Digest version of it. Salespeople, wake up. You are on this side of the baseball diamond where 99% of the salespeople live, and dealers have to train you that way, which means it's valuable that you learn this stuff. I'm not saying don't learn it. I'm saying if you live here long, you will die in this industry. You'll be frustrated knowing there's more. He didn't get to this business the way he did, Ali did, by living on that side. And that's what we want to share with you next. Because this big brick wall that separates this side of the baseball diamond from that, you got to know it's profitable. It feels good. And that side is all about what this gentleman and other people love. Salespeople, you want people to like you, and you want to love them. Ali, let's talk about this guy right here. Let's talk about.
I mean, relationships. I mean, that's where it's at. I mean, that's, like you said, Damian, you can only get so far with transactional. The industry, the time, I mean, we all get 24 hours, right? We all get the same amount of time in a day. You can only get so far with that transactional type business. Relationship business is going to be faster, easier. Those 12 steps you were talking about, it's more like 2 or 3 steps. This is going to speed up the process. This is what selling should be. This is fun. This is completely different. There is no objections. There is no, I got to go here and go to 8 dealerships. It's just none of that. It's relationship-based business. So it's selling to your friends and your family, and everybody's your friend. It's greeting somebody with a hug, not just a handshake. It's them wanting to come and see you, not afraid to come into the dealership to see you. All of these things are going to play into relationship selling. The reason why there is a ceiling, it's time, right? We only have so much time to sell a customer, and if it takes 2-3 hours to sell a customer, how can you possibly ever get to 100 or 30 or 40? Because it takes 2-3 hours to get through this process. Well, relationship type business may be 20 minutes to start to finish. I mean, that's how much time you need, and you're helping multiple people at one time because it's a relationship. You don't have to be formal. You take the business transaction out of it, and that's where we kind of built this whole business off of.
Yeah, and dealers, you take your business model and you have a customer who's bought 4 vehicles from your dealership. You should consider talking to those people totally different. Managers should come off the tower and say, you bought 4 vehicles from us. Before we ever talk a number, I want you to know I'm grateful for you and we're going to take care of you, and then give them the numbers. And you'll find that you have no negotiating with a relationship. It's just simple. Oh my God, they appreciate me. They recognize me. The next part of this is salespeople. On one side of this is transactional. On the other side of this is relationship. When you start in the business, you get rid of everybody you know, because the way you do this business, everybody knows, is to get an up. No, you're getting rid of everybody in your relationship tree. You got to connect to people, talk about their favorite subject, be proud of what you do, like Ali said. And then what will happen is you'll have all your community. That's what we're selling you on, your community, right? And your community will come in and they will tell other people, right? We have salespeople who say, I had a triple referral. They'll send me a text and I had a triple referral. Now, for those who don't know what that means, that is so fun. Customer comes in who doesn't know you and says, I've had 3 people tell me to come see you. Who are you? That's a deal. But everybody's so out there hustling referrals that they miss out on how to truly get them, right? How to truly have that relate. And that ain't about a $50 bird dog fee, is it, Ali?
No. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Damian, because there's 2 types of referrals, and people always ask me, how much are you paying these customers for referrals? And the answer is 0. I don't pay anybody for referrals. I don't pay customers to go out and find me new customers, because now it's about money. It's not about that person. It's not about helping somebody. Now it's about monetary reasons. So 2 types of referrals. The first one is a paid referral. You're sending a customer out there armed with the fact that they are going to get paid for going to tell somebody they should come see you. They're not salespeople. Ed is going to come off completely wrong. They're going to go out there and they're going to try to sell that person on why they should come see you. And their whole motive is getting paid. It's not going to come off right. What I concentrate on is what's called a natural referral. A natural referral is a client, a friend, somebody out there telling a story about their experience. They're telling a story about you. And now this is completely different because they're talking from their heart, not from their mind and pocketbook. They're telling a story about what a wonderful experience they had and how amazing this person is going to help you out and how loving and caring this person is. And they're going to be intrigued. They're going to say, wow, I got to go see this person. They voluntarily would want to come and see you. And the other person might even bring them in. I have so many of my clients actually put them in their car and bring them in because they're so excited about bringing somebody in to see me or meet me. And there is the difference between the 2. So I don't advertise I'm going to pay somebody, because it's just not going to come off correct. It is not. You're sending the wrong message.
Yeah. New people, you have to marry the transactional relationship with this relationship that Ali is talking about. If you do that, you'll not just sell 20% of the dealer-driven opportunities, but you'll sell 80 to 90% of your personal relationships. In the relationship business, the closing ratio isn't 20 or 30 or 60%. It's, tell him, Ali, tell him what you average.
85, 90%.
9 out of 10 people, 8 out of 10 people will come in and give you a hug. And they don't have to buy. He's not selling. He's not attached to the outcome of selling. He's into the outcome of serving, advising, helping, solving, healing. Yes?
Yes. And sometimes that means not selling them. Right.
Yeah. So new people, you want to marry the 2, right? Now, here's the crazy thing I teach. Here's the crazy thing I teach that Ali will tell you is not easy. It is a freak out mode for somebody who's in the business 10 years like he was, and then meets somebody like me and says, okay, you never talk to anybody who doesn't know you. Now, salespeople, remember this. It's not what you know, and it's not who you know. What is it, Ali?
It's who knows you.
It's who knows you. And the people that come in, if they don't know you, Ali, what do you do with anyone up who doesn't know you?
Oh, I mean, I greet them and I kindly find them a salesperson.
And why do you do that?
You know, it could ruin my whole day, right? I mean, this type of person, this type of customer, again, I got to start, now I got to go back to teach, having them to like me, love me, trust me, and then there's a 20% chance they might buy from me. So I don't want to get involved in that. That could ruin my day. It could ruin my week. It could ruin my whole month. So, you know, if they don't know me, I mean, of course, I'll gladly greet them and welcome them to the dealership with open arms, and I'll find them a salesperson that can help them out. So.
Yeah, salespeople, some of you have been in the business for 5, 7, 12, 15 years at the same dealership. Oh, I'm telling you, you should not be waiting on anybody who doesn't know you. You need to reach out there and start the relationship and reconnect with all the people who know you. And then if you, I'm telling you, stop. It'll change your mindset. Your whole approach to doing the business totally shifts. I mean, I'm doing this with salespeople for a long time. And they say, you know, I don't use any word tracks. It's crazy. Scary. I don't have to do demo rides. I haven't done a demo. Maybe what percentage of your business says you do demo rides, Ali, or does Sam do them?
It's very small. Very, very small. Yeah.
Very small. There's the whole mindset shifts you. It's like you eat a lot of food and then you go on this special diet and you realize you don't eat as much food, and now you go to the buffet and it's like not as as enjoyable. It's a mind shift that happens when you do that. Your education model in the car business is great, salespeople, but the dealer training model doesn't include the stuff you need to build a scalable business that is legacy-based, that you can pass on to your kids, that you can pass on to your grandkids, your son-in-law, like I have salespeople do, because it's all based on their business. Your dealer is good enough to say, we're going to pay all the bills. Here's my business, and I'm going to give you a little business in my business. But you're not managing it. You're not saying, okay, I'm going to take advantage of all these resources for free by building your core business. And that's what I'm selling you on. So, Eliana, let's go to it. Let's do the poll question.
All right. So, audience, earlier you answered our only poll question of the day, and now we're going to share the results of that. On the screen now, you'll see those results. So the question was, why do you think salespeople quit, fail, or underachieve in the auto industry? Well, 32% of you today think it's poor management support. 7% of you think there's just not enough money in it, or the pay plan isn't good enough, there's just not enough monetary motivation. But the majority of you, 41%, say there's just not enough good dealership training. Interesting. 17% of you say they're lazy. I'm wondering if those people are from management. And then the remaining 2% of today's audience believe that there's not enough advertising by the dealership, not enough leads, or they get a lot of leads, but they're just crappy leads. So, Damian, Ali, I don't know, have you done research on this or you have your own opinion on this? I'm curious to know, are any of these answers right? Why do you think salespeople quit, fail, or underachieve in the auto industry?
Yeah, let's talk about two. Let's talk about poor management support. Salespeople, your managers are doing what they are trained to do. They work for your dealer. You've got to be successful in spite of your managers. And there are some bad managers, but in manager support, they're managing chaos. And let me tell you something, nobody taught them to teach. I work in the school systems and I build curriculums for children. And here's what you will love about training. The way they teach you in the car business goes totally contrary to the way you were trained to learn. And managers are not trained to teach. And trainers in our industry are giving the dealer and the manager exactly what's necessary for their business plan. The the welfare system, salespeople, does not work. Stop letting dealers buy your training. Let them buy the training that works for them, and then you got to go and what else could I learn? And what else could I get? And what else could I do? This business is about you growing. That means you got to get good at being you so that you can love and care for other people and transition your business into this business. The dealer training model works for the dealer. And in a small degree, it works for salespeople. But if 71% are failing and 80% are jumping around and 10 cars is the average, that's a problem for you. Salespeople, dealers are making money hand over fist. You ain't. Wake up.
Interesting.
It's time for you to own your business. And that's the purpose of the poll question. Y'all did very good on it.
Okay, so I have a little question for both of you. Now, Ali, you are now at Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Have you been there the entire 17 years?
So I got there in 2010, which is actually the year I met Damian. And the only reason I shifted from one dealer to the other is I was at a Chevy dealer that GM had closed down during the wind down period. So had that not happened, I would have still been at the same dealership. But I chose to stay with the same brand. I was in the same city, so that was a big advantage. But I definitely don't recommend jumping dealer to dealer, but I do recommend finding a home that you're comfortable with from the beginning. If you're not comfortable in the first 6 months, then that's when you should make the change. And it's not for reasons because I don't like the manager or this place doesn't advertise, because you are running your own business. So when you treat it as I am getting up and I'm walking into this dealership, but I am running my own business. Mm-hmm. When you have that mindset, then things are going to change. So it's stop blaming the dealership for all the problems. Stop blaming inventory. Stop blaming the management. Stop blaming all that stuff. Your mindset has to change. So you could be successful at any place if you get into this relationship type business, but you have to find a home that you're comfortable with. The 41% training problem, I can't believe that anybody can say that there's not enough training in this day and age. If you don't have enough motivation to educate yourself, then there is a problem. I'm not leaving my life in my manager's hands. I'm not leaving it in somebody else's hands. If I want to learn something, then I'll educate myself. Things like this, things like DealerOn, they're at your fingertips. How could you not get out there and educate yourself? Do it yourself. This business is based on motivating yourself, and if you're motivated enough, you'll find the training that you properly need.
Okay, so when you have this, you said this took you 17 years to break this world record. Was there a definite shift at some point where you said, hey, now I know what I'm doing. I'm not going to be this 30 car a month guy. And you're like, hey, I think I could hit 50. What? I think I could hit 70. Wait a second. I think this is going to be my first month. I'm going to hit 100. Like, when was the mind shift? Was it when you got to this next dealership, when you got to Les Stanford? Was it after you met Damian? Was it before that? I mean, I'm just curious how this evolution happened, because are not the norm by far.
And I'm just like everybody else. I am no different than anybody else in this business. I don't have a secret handshake. There is no secret sauce. There's no secret words. Yeah, you got to do this a couple times, and But so in 2010, when I met Damian, I was doing about 25, 30 cars when I came to the new dealership. Prior to that, I was averaging about the same. Every year over year, it was growing. And I learned early on that the business model of the dealership was to get quantity. So the more you sold, the more money you were going to make. So that's the mindset that I kind of had. I knew I needed volume, and I knew I needed to get it in the right way, because like Damian said, 20% closing ratio was not going to get me the volume that I needed. So it wasn't until I met Damian in 2010 that I became aware of what's possible. What is possible is what changed everything, because I didn't know or feel or believe that there was another level. So when I met Damian, the biggest thing I got from Damian is he made me aware, self-awareness. He made me aware of what's possible. Then I started believing it. So those numbers you speak of, 30, 50, 70, 80, 90, those numbers happen in your heart first. They do not happen on paper first. So when I started believing that I can get to those numbers, then they started happening. And I believe that there was another level. So Damian and I have a monthly phone call, and we kind of call it the famous phone call,
phone call.
Yeah, magic phone call. I mean, it was just, I'd call him and I'd say, hey, this is where I'm at, and he would ask me, well, what could you have did different? Where could you go? What's the next level? So, and every time you hit a new level, your process has to change. Like you said about demo rides, at some point I can cut those out. I'm not telling salespeople to do that. Don't do that where you're at now. When you hit a new level, things will start changing and your process shortens, and there's certain things you don't have to do to get to the sale anymore. But everybody has a different level where they're at. But every time I hit, I call him, I say, hey, I hit 50, and he'd say, well, what are you thinking next? And then I'd say, well, I know if I did 50, I can do 70. So then when I hit 70, he would push me to the next level and say, well, what do you think where can you get to next? And, the numbers just kind of started taking care of themselves. At some point, I actually stopped looking at the numbers. I don't even know where I'm at throughout the month. I actually don't know until maybe a couple of days after the month is over. Then one of the managers will send me a note and tell me kind of where I was. But I just started concentrating on helping people. And the more people I can help, I knew that was going to the numbers will take care of themselves. And I just stopped focusing on the numbers now.
Well, just so you know, we're getting some really wonderful questions in from the audience. So audience, get those questions in. We are going to be getting to the Q&A session. And yeah, I got questions on my own, I know. In speaking with Ali, when we were discussing what this presentation was going to contain, I learned a very interesting fact. And audience, you need to hear this too, because I remember us having a conversation about, hey, if you sell 30 cars in a month, which by all accounts you were doing so before you met Damian, right? 30 cars in a month, that makes you a rock star salesperson in most people's minds, because that is a Herculean effort. And some people don't know how to sell 3 cars in a day, let alone 5 cars or 6 cars in a day. Ali, I just want you to tell the audience, what is your record for car sales in one day? Because I don't understand the mechanics of it.
Okay, so
I know, we're not worthy.
Okay, so the record in one day was actually the same month that I broke the record, the most I've ever sold in a month, which was January of 2017. That was 31 in one day.
You sold 31 cars in a day. Oh my God, I don't even make 31 phone calls in a day. I don't understand how you did that.
It was busy. I had a busy day. It was good.
Was it like January 17th? Like you remember the day? Like that's just insane.
It was the last day of the month, or the day before the last day of the month. I believe it was on a Monday. So, but I started my day at like 6:45 in the morning, and I ended probably at like 10 o'clock. And it was the end of the month. I sold 167 cars that month. So that was, the most I've ever sold in a month. But
I'll give you some backstory on that. That was also the first month he had ever gotten on a stage and did an interview. And then we did hours of webinar. I mean, not webinar, but actual video recordings for a program that we have. And at the end of it, he goes, I hate having to think about this. This is going to screw up all my sales. I'm never going to be selling anything again. I'll be thinking about what I'm doing. I can't think. I just do this stuff, and you're asking me to think about what I'm doing.
Yeah. And the funny thing is I was at a seminar too that month, and Damian always asks, what's your next level? And this was towards the middle of the month. And the funny thing is he has a booklet, and I wrote in that book, my next number was 167. And ironically, I hit it that same month, right on the number. I think Damian or somebody has that book still that I had wrote that number down, which was pretty funny. But
so wait, you're the dude now. You're the dude. You're the guy the top dude. Do you still have these meetings with Damian and you get motivated and you're on to the next goal? You still do it?
I'm learning right now. Yeah, absolutely.
I've already got 5 notes. Look, we do these things and we learn more than the people who are on the webcast that we do. we leave there going, wow, that's a great insight. I never pictured it that way.
Right, right. Yeah. And like I said before, sharing, I've learned more by sharing than I ever thought I'd ever learn. I mean, this is what's amazing. So that's why I love doing these, because I'm learning as I go as well. And I'm learning things about myself, and I'm still learning about my buddy. And you know, it's been a blessing. And I want to say something about coaching that people just kind of keep this in mind, that if Tom Brady needs a coach and Michael Jordan needs a coach, why do we feel that we don't need a coach? Why do salespeople feel like there's no benefit in it? And the managers can only do so much. Like Damian is saying, they work for the dealer. They're managing the dealer plan, and that's their job. Get a coach. Get connected with somebody that can see something that you cannot. And that's where I was. I couldn't see certain things, and Damian will bring them to point, and then he'll teach me how to act on them, and then I would execute. Get a coach. Michael Jordan needed one. Why do we think we don't need them?
Now, to be fair, now Damian, some people might misunderstand what you do because your clients are not the dealers, correct? You don't have dealership clients. Your clients are
salespeople.
Salespeople.
So the promoters like Bob Moore, who's just the greatest promoter in the history of the car business. I don't meet Ali without Bob. So he'll go into a marketplace like Cleveland or Shreveport or Philadelphia or wherever, and he will see his dealers that know him. He'll come in and do a sales meeting, and salespeople paid for the ticket. They might split the ticket or whatever, but they're invested in the learning. But I'll have those things in 150, 200 people in the room, and there might be 8 managers. There's rarely a general sales manager or a dealer. You know, Chris Martinez, one of my friends, he showed up. Alex Flores showed up when I was in Austin. There's some dealers who are just, they're hungry to learn. You can't turn them off. But as a rule, managers, they have their way of doing things. Mm-hmm. And I don't work for managers. I work for the salespeople. And so one of the other things in my coaching thing that I do now is why learn from an old guy who sold years ago, who has great perspective, and I'm the teacher. Why not learn from other salespeople who do it? So in the thing, we use social learning. It's like having a workout partner. Other salespeople are learning from each other. So you get 10 salespeople in a room, and they say, and who was it that's doing the high school football thing, Ali, who invited all the football players to pick their favorite car and come take a picture in it. He had a professional. And remember, he sold 8 cars that week. Yeah. The parents bringing their kids in, and we're going, everybody in the club is going, I like that idea. And Ali and I are going, I like that idea.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your flow because I know you were going through it, and we already got through the first 3 inspiring lessons. And I know these last 2, although you got halfway through 4, I know these last 2 are the ones that really seal the deal for you. And please continue. I don't want you to stop because I see that you got through here. You got like halfway through 4, and I know the last one is the one that's well, let's say that's the game changer. So I don't want to hold back anymore. We got to get to this. Where do we pick up from here?
So yeah, go ahead, Ali. You want to talk about clarity, intentionality, energy, and consistency, and the habits, or?
Yeah. I mean, and that's what it is. I mean, you have to know who you are at your best. You have to know why you're going into the dealership. You have to understand your mindset when you get there. You know, and mine is, I know I'm going in to help somebody. You know, let's face it. So we wake up every day to face rejection, right? How do you handle that? So if you're going to face rejection after rejection and let it get to you, then you're going to have problems in this business. My mindset is to help somebody. So when I go in, my intentions are to help somebody that day. So you know, my mindset. I mean, get yourself in the groove before you get to the dealership. You know, whether it be music or your family or whatever it is to kind of get you going before you get there. If you're going to have road rage and then you walk into the dealership late and you're fumbling your stuff and you're getting there right on time at 9 o'clock and it opens, it takes you an hour to an hour and a half to get situated. Your mind, your body, your soul, everything has to kind of get prepared for that day. I start my day an hour to hour and 15 minutes early. The reason I do that is I can get my coffee, I can get my bagel, I can get all the stuff that I do every day. I have 3 things that I do every single morning. I check my voicemails, my emails, my CSI score, my CSI reports, that the customer surveys that come in for that night before. And by time 9 o'clock rolls around, I am ready to go. I'm ready. While everybody else is still trying to gather themselves, they're still going to grab their coffee. They're still trying to get situated from the night before. By 10:30 rolls around, I mean, your day's already gone. So by the time I get in, I'm in stride. I'm moving. I got momentum. And, you know, even if you don't have anything going on, even if you don't have a customer coming in, get in there an hour early. Get all that small things out of the way. First customer that walks in, your mind is going to be sharp and you're going to be ready to go.
So I have a question for you. You said that, you know, you should listen to music to get motivated. Is there some kind of music that you listen to that gets you pumped, ready to sell? Like, are you like a Motley Crue kind of guy? Is it Led Zeppelin? Is it Adele?
No,
like, what really gets you motivated to go in there and sell? Because I still don't understand how you sold 30 cars in a day.
Remember, I got there at 6:45.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
It's a 20-minute turn. It's a 20-minute turn.
Yeah, and you know, I don't have a long drive to work, so I can barely fit in one song. So sometimes it's no music. Sometimes it's me driving in the car and just gathering my thoughts, or sometimes it's calling a friend. Damian likes to do that. Damian likes to call somebody and kind of gets his mind get it going. So it could be, you know, anything. I mean, I don't have any specific, you know, I like George Ezra, by the way. But
thank you for that.
Yeah.
All right, people, write that down.
Yeah. Nothing really specific, but certain things that will kind of get you going. But it's the whole thing of, let's look at it like sports, right? These professional athletes, do they show up right at tip-off? Do they show up and say, okay, the game is at 7 o'clock? Do they show up at 6:55 and run on the court? Or do they show up hours before, prepping their mind and their body? Stop being in a rush. Stop putting yourself in that position. It's going to carry on throughout the whole day. I don't care what anybody says. Athletes get there 2-3 hours before. They have their music going. They have their mind. Everybody has their own little ritual. Let's mock that. Why are we not doing the same thing?
Okay, I like it. I love the sports metaphor. I'm with you. Okay.
It's good. It works. It's so good.
We'll do one industry myth. We'll do one industry myth right now about referrals.
Okay.
Dealers, let me kind of talk to you and salespeople. You'll hear. Dealers, you've been spending crazy money training me to ask for referrals. Ask for referrals. You say, Boudreaux, the Bible says ask for referrals and you'll get it. You tell me that if I ask for referrals, my business will go great. And and it will. Oh my God, if you ask for it, but nobody does it. And nobody asks the question, why aren't they doing it? You know it would work, but it's not working because management and manager and dealer mentality is different than somebody like me and Ali and other salespeople who want everybody to like me. You say, oh, you're too nice, Boudreaux. How is that possible? You see, you asked me to ask for referrals, but I don't do it because I don't ever feel like I've ever made enough like emotional deposits to earn the right to beg from a total stranger. I don't even call my daddy when I need help. Why would I beg from a customer? And we feel like we're imposing, so we don't do it. But you keep spending the money on the guy coming in and having the referral contest. There's got to be a better way. When Ali and I first met, we had our first conversation. The first thing I told him to do is find somebody you love their business and promote their business and start telling everybody about that person's business. And he already was doing it anyway. It was just, again, me saying it made him go, oh, yeah, I do that. But be enrolled in community. Be connected with who you are. Now, Ali's about to share with you this slide right here, right? It is, okay, drum roll, please. It is the key to my success is, what's the first one, Ali?
The first one is going to be love. The first one is going to be love.
Talk about it.
I don't say that loosely. I mean, I care. I love my clients. I care about where they are today, where they're going tomorrow. I treat it as a friend, as an advisor. I'm not talking about, you know, oh, I got a 10-pounder today, or I'm ripping somebody's head off today, or I'm taking advantage of somebody today. Where's the compassion? Where is it? Why is it gone? Why are we talking about things that we shouldn't even be thinking of in the first place? You know, a single mother comes in to see me because she needs my help, right? I want to help her. Where's the love? Why we're in the service industry. Why are we forgetting that? That person should leave and say, that guy cares. That's one guy that cares. And then you're going to build your business. And that might mean not selling a car. That might mean saying, listen, this is not the right situation for you, right? This is not what's good for you and your family. And, you know.
Dealers just hung up on you.
and people always ask, and it's genuine. It's genuine. It's real love. It's I care, and I want what's best for them. And they're going to come back. They're going to feel it. You're going to feel it in your heart, and you're going to feel good. If I can't come home and tell my daughter, my 9-year-old daughter, what I did or how I felt that day at work, then there's a problem. I'm not going to come home and tell her that, hey, I took advantage of this customer today. And even though he's happy, if I knew that I took advantage of him or I did something that wasn't right, if I can't look at my daughter in the face and tell her what I did, then there's a problem.
Salespeople don't believe us. Next person you meet, stop time. Slow down time. Be fully present in that moment. And love with no attachment to what's best for you, your dealer, your growth, your productivity. And what you will find is that if you do that every moment with every day, your business will go through the roof. You'll be productive. You'll be profitable. You'll be proud of what you do. The end of the month is a dealer's game. It's not the salesman's game. Your job isn't to focus on the end of the month. It doesn't count. The next human being you give a hug to or catch contact with or want to help, that's your game. Your end of the month isn't about the future, and it's not about the past. This is all you got, salespeople. Stop time with people. Make it memorable, personal, and forever. That's the first thing you want to do, salespeople, is love. Next, Ali.
Yeah, next one on there, community. I mean, I am very active in my community, extremely active. Yesterday, I actually got an award from the Chamber of Commerce. And I didn't even tell Damian yet about that, but I got an award from Chamber of Commerce. And, you know, I go to charity events. I go to all the local community centers. And, you know, I'm going to tell you a story, but there isn't a single owner of a business in my community that I don't know. And I make myself present to know them, right? If I walk into a restaurant, and I'm not going to just go back in the corner and sit in the back corner and grab my meal and leave. I'm going to make a presence in there. And I'm not talking about me. I'm not saying in there, oh, I'm Ali Reda, I sell cars here, here, here. I'm going in there. I want to find out who the manager is. I want to know who owns the place. I want to find out about the waiter, waitress that's helping me. And time over time again, they are going to be intrigued in what you do. I don't have to go in there and break the ice and say, I sell cars. They're going to want to know what I do because now they're intrigued by me, the person, not a car salesman. And, you know, there's, I went to Florida last weekend, and I haven't even shared this with Damian yet. So my wife was supposed to pick up my dry cleaning. I was leaving on Thursday morning at 7 a.m. Wednesday, she was supposed to pick it up. Guess who forgot to pick it up? And she never forgets it. And she never forgets anything, right? Local dry cleaner, right? So she calls me up in a panic. They closed, and I didn't get your clothes, and you're leaving tomorrow morning, and they don't open up till 7:30. I'm like, no problem. What do? Call the owner on his cell phone. Hey, buddy, here's what happened. Give me a half hour. I'll meet you there. So the guy not only doesn't call me back half hour later, the doorbell rings, and the owner of the dry cleaner is at my door with my clothes.
What?
Relationship business. You think I'm going to go anywhere else? That guy, what he did, it's called Dynamic Cleaner in Dearborn, by the way. What he did is something that I will tell a story. I'm telling a story. That's the story. He didn't ask me for anything. He didn't even tell me meet me at the place. He dropped it off at my house. That's a relationship type business. That's being involved in your community. There's two things about advertising in your community that I want to say too. I have banners. I have banners in community centers. And it's one thing to have a banner up there and then people see my beautiful face and they say, I want to go see that guy. That guy looks like a nice guy, right? Stop laughing at me. So
you are a nice guy, so that works out for you.
I mean, it might work. Okay, it might work for me. It might work for me, but it might not work for everybody. So there's a difference. If I'm present, physically present, mind, body, soul, at the same place I'm advertising, that's the difference maker. So I'm not relying on people just seeing that billboard. I'm relying on them seeing me and the billboard, hugging me, touching me. I'm real. I'm the person they want to do business with. And then, again, I'm not talking about me, talking about them. They will actually come up to me and say, hey, what do you have for me this month? Or my friend needs a car. Or, hey, come meet this person. Being present. Being present is the biggest thing I can tell you about advertising. It's not just throwing up a billboard or a sign or anything. Charity events. I mean, the thing I was at last night, 1,500 people were there. 2 weeks before that, I go to a charity event that I'm very active in. 2,500 people there. I mean, this is how you build your brand name. This is how you get your name out there. This is how you give back. This is the community stuff that you need to be doing. It's not sitting in the dealership. People are not going to the bus is not going to show up and dump people on your lap. You have to create it. So if you're not out there creating it, does it seem like a lot of work? Yes, it is. It's okay. It's fun stuff. I'm there. I'm mingling. I'm having a good time with everybody at this charity event. 2,500 people at a charity event, and they all know me. I mean, you want to know? I mean, that's what more could I say, right?
Yeah, salespeople. A couple of things. First of all, customer satisfaction is underachieving in our book. Customer loyalty is what you want. You want to be connected with your community in a way that is incredible. And it's not just about delivering the car. It's about delivering the car and transitioning that to meaningful and personal relationships. And that's how you be yourself. And that's how you get good at this business. Let's talk about connection with people and the presence and patience.
Yeah, I mean, that's my favorite word in life, right? I mean, other than love, but my favorite word in life is patience.
Really?
Patience.
Yes. Patience is a big part of our business. I do slow down time. I do slow down when somebody's in front of me. I see nothing else. I don't see the person behind them. I don't see them moving cars. I don't see my phone ringing. I don't see who's on Facebook.
See, when I bring the book?
Oh, yeah. Damian will tell you a story. And this is what I see. And I'm listening. I'm not just listening to ask a question, right? I'm listening with my heart. I'm listening with my mind. And I'm paying attention to where the problem is so I can advise them on the solution. I'm being patient with this person so they can tell me exactly what's going on. We as salespeople are always thinking about the next question. So we forget about listening to the one that's at hand. So if I'm talking to somebody and they start to speak, I stop. I stop what I'm saying because what they're about to say is going to change what I was going to say. So I don't have a lot to say. I want to listen. I want to hear what you have to say. And I'm going to go back to this 80-90% closing ratio. Of that 80-90%, I am probably making 85 to 95% of the decisions with that client. So they might have to decide on 1 or 2 or 3 colors, but they're relying on me to advise them on what they should do. So the decision, why the process is only 20 minutes is I'm making a decision at the end of the day. I'm listening, I'm solving, I'm being patient with them, and that's how you get to these next levels. That's how you get to the higher levels. Damon will tell you a story about.
And new salespeople, just so you know, that's true with you too. When you start doing this, Ali's nothing. You know, he's impressive, but the thing about it is he's not doing anything you can't do. When you start helping people 3, 4, 5, 7 times that you're selling their children now, they're going to come to you and, you know, my wife said, you know, she wants a car and I'm going to send her in to see you. And wife, what should I get, Ali? And, you know, that's the conversation. Well, what do you think of that? Well, I think you should, you know, get that equipment. And that's the power of relationships is they don't go to TrueCar. They go to, you are the Carvana, Truckvana, whatever the flavor is, right?
Right. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And they don't have to say, I'm going back to discuss it at home, or I got to discuss it with my spouse, or I got to check finance rates at the bank, or I got to see if that's really what my trade is worth, or any of that stuff. But I give them reason to believe that. I give them every reason to believe me and that I'm putting them in the right position. And, you know, patience carries on in life. Patience it's not just dealership. I mean, you got to learn patience with your spouse. You got to learn patience with your kids. And, you know, just in life in general. And, you know, I think that will help you with your business as well.
Okay, wait. If you're selling on average 5, 6, 7 cars a day, how can you be patient? There's a lot of stuff that has to happen to make that many sales in a day. So I think a lot of, you know, a salesperson is talking to one person and then they see one of their other people who are coming in and they have to deliver a car and they're like, okay, hurry up. I got to take care of this people. You know, I have to talk to these people. I have to go to F&I.
Sure.
Where do you get that clarity from where you're like, I'm listening?
Like you said, clarity. That clarity. That's getting to the next level. That's changing process. These are parts that you have to learn. And patience may not come naturally. You may have to learn that. And once you figure that out, now, if I'm patient with the person and I'm focused and listening to them, it will take shorter amount of time than me interrupting them every few seconds and they lose their train of thought. My job is to figure out the problem. And the faster I can figure out the problem is the faster I can get the solution. Yes, I always have 5, 6 people waiting. When it comes time, I greet those people. I come up, I greet them, I tell them I'm helping this person. And people that come see me now, they understand that it might take a few minutes to see me. But I always greet them at some point, and they're okay with it. Don't assume people won't wait. People go to the doctor's office, and they wait. People go to another place, they wait. So don't assume that people won't wait. Don't assume that you have to. They're
waiting because they have a relationship with you.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
And Eliana, I'll add one more thing. So let me create some clarity about how he got where he is. Salespeople, you're at 12. You have to do things at 12 that when you start to move up and you get to 18, there's going to be some shifts that you have to make. Or look, the longer you sell, the more you should sell because of the way we're doing business. Okay, it should just be, you know, it should be a compounding rule, right? But everything shifts at certain levels: mindset, process, bringing in an assistant, helping customers. How do you get cars clean before the day starts, not knowing what you're going to sell? How do you manage your time? What's not productive? What is productive? How do you know what to think? How do you get your managers involved? Look, Ali has a brilliant manager. Scott Montgomery's a beautiful guy. Other salespeople have beautiful managers. But if we would have went in and tried to change Scott, Scott's going to push back and says, no, that's not the way life works. You know, life doesn't work that way. Salespeople, you got to partner with a manager. You got to get him on your team. You got to communicate with them. You got to, you know, they've got to feel the growth with you as you grow with them. Trying to change your dealership is cray-cray. That ain't happening. They are stuck in their mentality. Trust me, not good to go.
Cray-cray?
I love it. I love it.
Is your daughter listening to this, Damian?
You got to get to your next level on your own. It's your business. Own it. Your dealer didn't get to that next level because he got there because she got there because she was moving to that level, right? You're the same way. You got to have that same vicious independence, right? That's what's important. And that next level of you growing is about asking questions. At some point, you're going to have to stop advertising because advertising in certain worlds just brings you more people who don't know you, like you, and trust you. So you have to be part of the communities that you're advertising in so that they know you when they come in. It's just not another cold lead. Rather than a dealer-driven opportunity, it's yours, right?
Yeah, and advertising, you know, a lot of these dealerships, Damian, we talked about this before, do their own charity functions. They pay money to charities, and guess what? Nobody goes. Nobody from the dealership goes. I don't understand it.
Yes.
The dealership has charities that they sponsor every year, and they always have functions, and nobody goes. Find out who those people are and ask the dealership. They would be happy if somebody went and represented the dealership. Ask your dealer, hey, who do we advertise with? Who's our charitable places that we go to? And then join those functions. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to go there one time and everybody's going to know you. Repetition. You got to go. You got to go. You got to go.
You got to show up.
Don't show up and not make yourself present. Make yourself present. Introduce yourself.
Don't make it about you. Make it about them. Make it about others. Look, as you keep growing and you get your owner's confidence, they donate money to some high dollar stuff. You got to dress up with your spouse in a nice outfit. Yeah, you ain't paying for that. They pay for that.
Right.
You get to wear a tux and go to the silent auction. It's like crazy. And it's fun, but you're not involved. You think the way to get successful is to wait for the next dealer-driven opportunity. And we're saying that's cray-cray. You got to be better than that. It's different. It's different. It's about community, right? And it's not about you.
Okay.
All of those things.
Earlier, just a little bit earlier, Ali said that you, Damian, had a story about patience, and I think I didn't want to miss it because I love your guys' stories. So, it's about presence? Okay, I'm ready. Hit me with it.
So a book starts here. A book starts here, right? For me. And then we send it back and forth. So we might have a manuscript jumping back and forth. We have a helper named Julie who helps us because we suck both at writing. But we have somebody who helps us. And so we're back and forth, and we got a typed manuscript, Eliana. Oh, my God. It's a book almost. We're like, finally, we agree. This is the book, okay? He doesn't even know what the cover looks like yet, right? And so I've got a copy of the book that he hasn't seen yet, right? He hasn't seen the book yet. And so I go to the dealership and I sneak into the dealership and he's got a customer at his desk and I put the thing on his desk, right? In front of him, his customer's over there, his customer goes. And so I go hide behind the post thinking he's going to see it. He's going to be proud of us. Oh my God, look, we got a book. He takes the book. He comes in, he takes the book, he sees the book. He does this. He grabs the book and he puts it behind and he starts talking to the cop. I can't tell you how many hours we spent on that book and he's not even happy about it.
Did it register that it was your book or you just...
Yeah. No, it registered. I mean, it registered and I didn't even know he was there. I didn't even know he was in town. So I knew the only person that could have put that book on my desk is Damian. But, I went to go grab something for the customer and I came back to sit down and I seen it on my desk. So I grabbed it. And I glanced at it as I picked it up and I put it on my back file cabinet and I continued my conversation. I think he passed out. I think I heard him fall in the back. And he was expecting some other reaction but I was focused. It didn't matter what was happening. I mean, sometimes, honestly, there's cars right in front of my office. They would change a car right in front of me and I won't see it. I'll come back and I'll say, what happened to the other car? And somebody would say, hey, they changed it. And because I'm focused on that customer. And, if I could stay focused, I could solve that problem quicker and faster. And my process is not rushed. It's fast, it's efficient, but it's never rushed. So if that customer needs more time, I give them more time. It's not an issue. I don't rush anybody. And people don't want to sit there for 2, 3, 4 hours either. They're happy I can get them in and out in 20, 30 minutes.
So we went through 5 inspiring lessons. Arguably, one has to be your favorite or one that you would recommend, hey, if you're going to start anywhere, start with this step. Is one of these 5 that you would say to salespeople now, look, if you really want to make a go of this relationship selling, I'd start here. Is there something that you could say to salespeople like that?
I mean, for me, it's back to getting involved with your community. For me, that's where I started. And I was doing that prior, like Damian said, I was doing that prior to meeting him, but I wasn't aware of what I was doing and the potential of it. We're so focused on advertising on Facebook and we're so focused about advertising in places that we can't see people or touch people. And we're forgetting about the people in our backyard. Mm-hmm. We're forgetting about the people that you have access to right now. The people that you can go and hug and touch and feel. Those are the people we need to concentrate on first. And it doesn't matter if I'm famous on Facebook with the guy in Seattle. It doesn't do anything. I'd rather be famous with the guy that owns a restaurant next door to the dealership. That's the person I want to be involved in. And that's where I would tell these young salespeople to start. You're doing 10, 12, you want to get to that next level, then be active in your community. It doesn't happen overnight. This is not 1 or 2 years that I've been working on this. This has been forever. And, I think in the long run, in 5 or 10 years, I might get a phone call and they might say thank you, because my job is actually easier than their job at this point, because I'm just helping people. I'm just loving people, and I don't have, the obstacles that they may have. So that's the one thing I would say you should take away.
Yeah, he didn't put one of these reasons. One of his keys to success is the same key to success that Brady and everybody else has, and that they're hungry, they're growing. Mm-hmm. We're not the people who, I've learned more in the last 3 years than I learned, in the previous 3 years. And I'm not done. I'm not the teacher who knows it all. He's not the student who knows it all. He's constantly, we're trying to figure out how to be more efficient and more helpful and more happy and more connected to our children and loving to our family and helpful to the family who just had this tragedy happen yesterday, but we can't go because we think we got to have a sale that might happen that day. And that's baloney. That family that's, lost a child or had a dad die, that's real human stuff. And we need to touch humanity again. But that's about growing in your heart and not so much, the road to the sale. And.
Well, you've inspired me, both of you. Thank you so much. All right, I noticed that the next slide is some resources. Would love to know what you got for us.
Ali, you want to tell him about the first book?
Apparently there were 3 people that wrote it, some handsome guy.
2 great-looking people wrote that book.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, it's a great tool to use. It's something great to read. It's an easy read, and it's just, I think everybody should take a look at that. You'll learn a lot from it, I think. And it's just sometimes getting back to the basics. Again, it's just somebody else telling you, or reminding you rather, what the basics are. And, I even read it from time to time, and I go back and say, wow, I need to focus on this, or I focus on that. So I'll read it back.
Yeah. The last one, the Keep It Simple Selling book, is the recipe book. It's the manuscript. He had that manuscript maybe a couple of years before it was ever published. And Ali, you want to talk about that book?
I mean, that's the one. If you read nothing else, that's the book you should be reading. That's the one that I started reading, and it makes you aware. It makes me aware of certain parts of the business that we don't think of. And I recommend that to everybody before any other book that you can ever read.
Now,
That's been a huge difference for me.
That's excellent. Are all of these available? I see that they're available online. Are they also available like through Amazon or anything like that?
Yep. If you go to Amazon, it's $21 for the Keep It Simple Selling book. On the keepitsimpleselling.com, it's, I think, $14, including the shipping and handling and audiobook and all that stuff. I think maybe the How to Sell 100 Cars book is $9, $9.99 or something. And you can go to How to Sell 100 Cars, and it's a free download. If you want to purchase it at that website, it's $7, including shipping and handling in that site. Or, the Keep It Simple Selling was written as a training manual to help managers teach, because they're not trained to teach. They have a huge obstacle, and the dealers say, I hired you to teach, but nobody trains them to teach. Mm-hmm. And that's where we learn. Salespeople learn at desk. We learn from our teacher. And if they were more confident and had a resource guide that they could go to, each chapter stands on its own. And I have sales trainers and sales managers out there who will take a new group of salesmen or their existing salesmen. They'll read this chapter. They'll all talk about that chapter. They'll write notes on that chapter, and then they'll discuss it, social learning, and say, oh, my God, here's what I got out of that chapter. And then, oh, I didn't get that. And they write that note. And after a manager has done that 3 or 2 times, they start to have a framework in their mind that when the salesman starts coming to desk, they, now remember in the book, now it talked like this. Now a manager has something real. They can go get a salesperson to go touch and read after they miss the deal. And that's when we're hungry to, after we miss a deal is when we want to learn, why did I miss the deal? I needed that deal. And it's just, you're just a mindset away, a step away, a question away from the deal. And so that's why that book was written and how it was written. And it's simple. It's a 4th grade read. I wrote it. I mean, you know, I'm dumb. I mean, I'm not smart when it comes to books and stuff. I'm a genius with emotional intellect. But I wrote that book. That's a 4th grade read. But that's good.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And what's the one in the middle, the Auto Success Blueprint?
Okay. Auto Success Blueprint. I work with salespeople who are already in the business, who are already getting it, and just maybe frustrated and saying, you know what, I know there's more, but I can't get more. How do I get more? And Auto Success Blueprint is for new people, newer people, struggling people, and it's free. And it's like, okay, here is this online training program in the universe. Go watch it. Now, it's the first 20-something videos, they're stacked. So you can't watch the second without watching the first one. There's PDFs to download, right? Do the work. I teach 5 pillars of high achievement and all kind of other stuff in that one. But it's free. And then the fun part of that training series is I say to new salespeople, okay, this is going to save your life. I'm going to tell you about a product presentation and learning product knowledge. Don't freak out. In about an hour, you'll be able to do it better than a professional. It'll come from your heart. Just do this. I talk to them about there are times in this business, because it's not for the meek, the weak, or the struggling, that you're going to have to look in the mirror and go, okay, I need you to come out, and I need you to be here today because I feel bad, and I feel beat up, and I feel struggling, and I'm doubtful, and I have anxiety. And I show them how to pull out that monster, how to connect to people. And then the next folder is about, okay, that's what you want, but here's what your managers think they need. So you want to give them what they think they need so that you can kiss butt and look good to them.
Gaming the system, I see. All right. Okay, so if they go to autosuccessblueprint.com, this is complimentary. It's free.
Yeah, free. Yeah. Wow. We try to provide so much content out there that if you're new, you don't need me. You know, you can do it. You know, we do have another program, but it's from people who are doing good, you know, or wanting to do better, knowing they can, right? So here's some suggestions. The number one suggestion is read and look, share this. Share the free download of Ali's book, right? You want to be able to let people know, here's what this guy said. And then watch and share this free online course, autosuccessblueprint.com. And the third thing is, salespeople, it's true. Whatever number you have in your heart that you haven't gotten before, the number is real. How you're getting it is where the challenge is. You know there's in your heart 26 units, but you're struggling at 17. Trust me, 26 is real. How you're getting to the 26, you need to step back, be self-aware, get good questions, because you just need to evolve. And the way the dealer is teaching it got you to 17. Honor that. And you know there's more. And so that's the action ideas in the thing, right?
Man, I'm pumped. I am pumped. I was selling cars. All right. Ali, Damian, fantastic presentation. We have some great questions that came in from the audience, a ton of great questions. And audience, if you haven't gotten in your question yet for Ali and Damian, what in the hell are you waiting for? Let's go. Get those questions in. We're going to get to those we're going to get to them in just a moment. Before we do, I do want to direct your attention over to the handouts section of the GoToWebinar interface. So on that interface, look pretty low, almost to the bottom, look for the word that says handouts. There's a little triangle next to it. Click on that. And in there, you're going to be able to find today's slide deck, available for immediate download until the end of this broadcast. So make sure you have it, because there's a lot of good stuff in there. All right. It's that time. Damian or Ali, are you ready? Let's go to the next slide. Audience, if you missed it at the beginning of the webinar, next slide, Damian. I announced that our good friends at Auto Training Academy, they're giving away some great prizes today, baby. That's right. First 2 lucky webinar attendees are going to win a signed copy of both Keep It Simple Selling and How to Sell 100 Cars a Month. These nice fellows are going to sign both of those books and send them out to you. And then after that, we're going to give away a third prize. That person's going to win those 2 books plus a private, exclusive 1-hour coaching call with Ali and Damian. Oh my God. And you saw what a difference, talking with Damian does for Ali. So believe me, this is something that literally could be a game changer in your career. All right, people? So you're going to want to pay attention. Get to your keyboards. Get ready. First person to write in the correct response to our giveaway questions is going to be a winner today, baby. All right? So get to your keyboards. Here we go. Oh, and of course, vendors, we love having you on the DealerOn webinars, but we're going to ask you to kindly sit this out. This prize is intended for dealership personnel only. Thank you so much. All right. Get to your, I know. People are writing and I want it. Give it to me. All right. So first 2 prizes are going to be for the 2 signed books. All right. So this question is for the 2 copies of the signed books. All right. Good luck, everyone. How many days a week does Ali work? That's right, Dan Green. First person to write in the correct response. Congratulations, Dan Green. I know. You got to stop them early because they're just going to keep on sending in the answers. That's right, 5. He works 5 days a week. That's it. I know somebody wrote in 7. Somebody wrote in 12 days a week. So thank you.
Oh, God.
Oh, Dan Green. Thank you so much. Oh, Dan Green is with Robert Green, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Congratulations. Thank you so much for writing that in. And Dan, if you wouldn't mind, sir, please send me your mailing address. Those prizes are going to come directly from our good friends, Ali, Reda, and Damian Boudreaux. So send me that mailing address, and we'll get those out to you as soon as we can. All right, people, next question. Good luck. Here we go. How many ups did Ali say on average he takes a month? Who is this person that wrote in the correct answer? Oh, wait, somebody has the right answer. Mikey Patriquin. Mikey Patriquin, correct. The answer is a big fat goose egg, 0. He doesn't take any ups a month. Mikey Patriquin, I don't recall ever seeing your name on my show before, but I am certainly glad you did it today. You are the first person who had the correct answer today. I probably butchered your name. I am apologizing right now. But Mikey, let me know what dealership you're from, and don't forget to send me also. Oh, I said it right? Oh, well, thank you so much. Let me know what dealership you're from. Oh, he's with, I'm going to screw that one up too. Gaudin Porsche of Las Vegas. Nice to have you on the show. Nice to have you on the show. Mikey, don't forget to send me your mailing address so we can get those books out to you. All right, grand prize. I couldn't even put a value on it because it's priceless. Not only do you get the 2 signed copies of these awesome, amazing books, you will also get that 1-hour coaching session with Ali and Damian. Holy moly. All right, Dan Green, Mikey Patriquin, you guys are already winners. I'm going to ask you to also sit this out, all right? Salespeople, this is for you. This isn't going to help anyone else except for salespeople. Good luck, everyone. First person to answer this question correctly gets this amazing prize. What is the closing ratio of a salesperson who only helps people who know them? Ryan Townsend, congratulations. That is correct. We were looking for any answer between 80 and 90%. He wrote 85 to 90%. That counts. Ryan Townsend, congratulations. You have scored yourself literally a game-changing, yeah, I know, right? Game-changing prize, baby. Congratulations. I would love to know what the results after that you're going to be getting in your sales after you've had this coaching session with the wonderful Ali Reda and the great Damian Boudreaux. Ryan, let me know. Oh, I know you can't type fast enough. I know. I'm sorry. Let me know what dealership you're from. He's very excited, by the way. Ryan is already writing in. Thanks.
Yeah.
Ryan is with Miller Chevrolet.
Where is he with?
Miller Chevrolet. I don't know what part of the country that's in, but congratulations, Ryan.
Is that in? Where is that in?
Ryan, hurry up. Write faster, dude. Beautiful Minnesota. the beautiful.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Oh, that is fantastic. Okay, Dan Green, Mikey, Patrick Quinn, Ryan Townsend, all of your prizes are going to come directly from our good friends over at Auto Training Academy. They're going to get those prizes out to you as quickly as they can. Congratulations. Now, listen, everyone else, I know your name wasn't one of those called. I'm sorry. But you know what? We give away great prizes every week here on the DealerOn webinar. So come on back to another webinar, and who knows, that could be the day that you win a great prize. For right now, big props to Dan Green, Mikey, Patrick Quinn, and Ryan Townsend. Good luck. Congratulations. And of course, we got to thank our good friends over at Auto Training Academy for their incredible generosity. Thank you, gentlemen. All right. Lots of great questions to get to, and I know we're already over time, but this was such an important subject and so different from what we're used to talking about. We're going to get to all these questions right now. And audience, send your questions in. I'm going to scroll up to some of our first earlier questions. All right, Sabrina, you're on the block. She's been very, very patient. Sabrina actually has a lot of questions, but we're going to start with these first couple, all right? Sabrina says, relationships, they're kind of a two-way street, aren't they? Oftentimes, customers come in guarded. What are some key things that you do to break down and lower the walls? Now, what we've learned, Sabrina, is that Ali doesn't deal with anyone he doesn't already know. So he doesn't take any ups. So breaking down those walls has already happened. I'm assuming is there anything else you need to tell Sabrina about that?
Damon?
Yeah, Sabrina, one of the things that you want to do is remember that the advantage that somebody who has a relationship has with a friend is that there's no risk. There's no risk that they have to buy something. There's no risk that they're not going to get what they want. There's no risk that they've got to play a game, right? So if you want to connect with people faster, you want to be in their world of eliminating all the risk. Reduce the risk that they have to buy. Reduce the risk that they need to do something. Reduce the risk that they can't say what they feel from their heart and they can't be 100% honest with you. You need to be able to, when you talk to somebody, imagine your communication, and as you're doing it, you slide your hand over the communication. If you feel any grit in your voice, like it's not flowing out right, you're not being authentic. If you feel uncomfortable, you're not being authentic. If the customer isn't, then there's something that you're doing that's not helping them feel safe. And you need to be aware of, am I being really comfortable and smooth and eliminating all the risk? And if you do that in your voice, you won't need word tracks as much. Word tracks are good, but part of the problem with them is you have grit because you're saying the words of somebody else and your words are having to make a turn before they come out of your mouth and they don't sound like you. You're talking from up here. You're not talking from here.
Right.
So, is that cleared up?
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Sabrina did write in. She says, reduce the risk. I like it. That's excellent.
Eliminate.
Thank you.
Yeah, even go farther. Eliminate the risk. Make sure that they feel no pressure, no obligation, and that you are the safest person in the free world, right?
There you go. All right. Sabrina's follow-up question. She wants to know, how do you leverage your online reviews? Do people leave you online reviews? Ali, I'm curious.
Oh yeah, I get them, of course, and they're very important. Not just the good ones, the bad ones.
Wait, the bad ones? Wait.
Well, if somebody dares to leave me a bad one, I'm coming for you.
Okay.
No, those anything could happen, right? So let's say the car wasn't cleaned, it's my responsibility. And let's say they weren't happy about something, it's my responsibility, not the porter, not anybody else in the dealership. So there are times where somebody will say, salesperson was great, but this and this didn't happen the way they wanted it. I need to address that customer immediately, because that customer is not going to be telling a good story, and I need to stop them before they get to the point where it grows and the aggression grows. So it's very important for me to get the good ones because those make me feel good. It is more important for me to pay attention to the bad ones. I don't get that many, of course, but it does happen or time to time, and I need to get those addressed immediately. And the people will respect that. People will respect that you call them even though they left a bad one. They never expect you to do that. They expect a confrontation of some sort. And I call and I'm apologetic for the situation. I try to fix it, and I own up to it, whatever it is, and we get them back on track. So But I keep track of them. I like to see them. I like to know what's being said, and you know, they're very important.
Thank
That's
you
the first
so
thing
much.
I do every morning, by the way.
I appreciate that. All right, Sabrina, we're going to hear some more questions from you in a little bit. And audience, I'm not kidding. I'm going through all your questions. You don't have to write me questions more than one time. I promise you. I'm going in order, okay? All right, next question. Very interesting question came in from Cameron. Cameron says, our dealership regularly maintains between 200 to 300 vehicles on the lot at any given time. Is it possible to get those huge numbers when you have a smaller independent used car dealer like that? Or if someone wants the big numbers, do they have to go work for a large brand name new car dealership? Now, Damian, I remember you saying, hey, you have to work with your manager, you know, and Ali, I assume, I'm assuming, of course, that if you alone are selling 160 some odd cars a month, it's just mind-boggling, that you at some point have to leave some cars for some other people to sell as well. So do they increase the number of cars that come to your dealership? Like once you've made every next level, were they like, oh, okay, Ali's on a roll, so we're going to have to get some more cars in here? I mean, how does that conversation go?
Sure. I mean, they'll accommodate for that, but you know, you don't have to work at a large dealership because, you know, keep in mind, you're not in competition with the person next to you. I'm not in competition with anybody else that's at the dealership. I'm in competition with myself. I am creating my own business. So it is only going to grow as big as I want it to. So inventory, does that make an issue? No, there's always more cars. If you get to the point where they need to order more cars, they will order more cars. So I wouldn't even think about that. Let's not concentrate on things that are dealership issues that management or owners have to worry about. You know, I don't worry about that. And we don't sell 1,000 cars at my dealership. We're not that big of a dealer. You know, we might sell, you know, 250 cars or 350 total with used and Cadillac. So it's not as big as people think. They always assume that it's the largest dealership. I sell Chevys, guess where? In the home of Henry Ford. That's where I sell Chevys. I have maybe 8 Ford dealerships that surround my dealer. So, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't worry. I'm in Dearborn, home of Henry Ford, selling Chevys.
Salespeople, you can have a lot of testimonies of failure of why and what's going to keep you from it. Here's how simple this is. Number one, just get good at being you. You know, they say you got to sell people on liking you. But how do you like you? How do you sell people on liking you if you don't like you? You got to like you. You got to love you. You got to know you. You got to understand that you suck at things. Be good with that. You got to understand that you're brilliant at things. You got to know those things. You got to shine those up. The second thing you got to do is you just focus like a laser on loving and caring for the next person, whether they're your manager or the service guy, the guy washing the cars, the girl you see who comes to the store who does the advertising. Just love. And that's all you got to do. Just keep it simple. If you've got so many things in your head, you're not going to make it.
Okay.
It could you love and care for other people. Get rid of all the garbage.
Got it. Follow-up question from Bruce. He says, do you sell used cars too?
So I'll give you an example. So last year, out of 1,582, 1,530 were new.
Oh.
So I don't do a lot of used cars, not because I don't want to. They do take a little bit more time. And people always say, well, that's where the money's at, but it doesn't matter to me. You know, it's something that, you know, if somebody needed a used car, I will. But it does take a little bit more time to find the right car, to make sure it's under warranty. If a car is not under warranty, I don't sell it because I don't want to be involved in the backside of that.
Interesting.
And if it's not the perfect situation, then I won't do it. I simply just won't do it.
Okay.
But I do have a used car guy that I work with. So if I'm extremely busy and somebody's, I will have them help me. And for the most part, I'll probably put the deal in their name, but I'll still do the whole deal.
Oh, very nice. Cameron, yes.
There's a lot of salespeople who do both, and there are a lot of salespeople who are in the 50s and 60s and 70s who just sell used. And so it just depends on, your job isn't to really sell new or used. It's to deliver and solve somebody's, you know, problem.
Fair enough. By the way, Cameron wrote back in and says, great answers. Thank you so much. Makes perfect sense. Okay, I got a follow-up question. Do you hold gross?
Yeah, I mean, this whole business is built around that, but that's not my focus.
No, I
right?
know. I was just curious.
But
That's a hell of a lot of cars. I didn't know.
yeah, I mean, I want to say I'm fair on both sides of it. Obviously, we're running a business, so, but I'm fair on both sides of it, and I'm very comfortable in how we do it, and I'm fair across the board with everybody. So if I'm using a formula to get to a certain, let's say a new car has a certain formula to get to a price, I use that formula with everybody. I'm not selective on who I use it with. So if it's the first time you came to see me or it's the 10th time you came to see me, I'm fair both ways. So, and of course, some people qualify for certain things and other people don't. So I'm very transparent with that, and I let them understand, why they are where they are versus, somebody that sent them to me. So that person in front of me could be somebody's brother or cousin or friend, and I might not know I sold them a car 2 days ago. They might not tell me right away. So if I start saying, well, your price is $100 more, if I quote them $100 more than the other person, and all of a sudden now I lose credibility, they're going to say, well, why did this person get it for that? So I'm pretty fair across the board. And, hey, dealers know that quantity equals money, and, volume is where it's at, and that's kind of where it's at.
Okay.
And I'll say, salespeople, managers' job is growth. And there's been plenty of time when management has come to Ali and said, all right, now we need you to focus on growth this month because our inventory is short. So managers are always in charge of growth, whether it's Ali who does everything to somebody who doesn't. Let management control growth, and you'll have that conversation at the end of the month. Sometimes it's I can't believe you let everybody steal a car from us, or it could be, I can't believe you didn't sell enough cars.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Okay, follow-up question from Cameron. In response to what Ali just said, is there a line where transparent honesty blurs into typical sales gray areas?
No, not at all. There is none. I'm transparent. So if somebody comes in and says, well, I think my trade is worth this much, then I explain to them why I came up to the number I came up to. So much easier to remember the truth than to remember a lie. If somebody comes back 2 weeks later, then I'm the same person. I'm the same answer. I'm the same tone. I'm the same everything. I'm very transparent. So I can't remember what I tell everybody. Somebody might come back 2 or 3 weeks later and say, hey, why are you different than what you were 2 weeks ago? And because I won't remember what I told them 2 weeks ago, but I do remember the truth. I do remember my formula. And I remember I'm transparent with everybody. So no matter what happens, I'll say, no, this is exactly what it is. And it's easier for me that way. I'm being fair to them, but it's actually, I'm making things easy on myself by being that way. So
I guess if you're talking to 100 people a day, yeah, I guess. All right.
Yeah, and you are.
The more I'm hearing, the more I wish I had typed faster and won the coaching session. Bravo. All right. We still have a ton of questions. So we're going to have to... Okay. I love your answers, though, so I'm almost afraid to tell you, hey, talk faster. Okay.
We're good.
Sabrina wrote it back in. What did you do differently with each incremental growth? Can you give some examples? Like when you went from, I don't know if do you remember when you went from 18 cars to 30 cars, and then when you went from 30 to 40? I mean.
Sure. There came a time where I needed help, right? and this is where kind of I struggled. And when I hit 50, it became too much for one person to handle. And that's where, and I was kind of scared to hire somebody because I built this business and I didn't want just to rely on another person. So at every level, process has to change a little bit. So at 50, I said, I need help. So I hired a secretary.
Okay.
And then that enabled me to get to 70. Then at 70, I would maybe release more obligations off to that person than what I was doing. Then demo rides. At some point, I said, okay, well, they're just not important anymore, so I can cut those out. And my road to the sale may be 3 steps instead of 12 or 10 or whatever it is, and it may be different with other people. So you are going to change your process, and I would encourage everybody to write that process down. Write it down. Write down everything you do throughout the day. You're going to find so many gaps in your day that you're just missing opportunity and you're wasting time being at the dealership. If you're going to be there, you might as well be productive. I would write down every 15 or 30 minutes of what you did that day. Write it down, and you're going to be surprised on what you come up with. And that's what I did. I wrote down my process, and I said, okay, well, these are not important. These are important. So let me figure out a way to shorten this up or to say I need more time on this. most people are measuring their day in hours. I measure my day in minutes. So if I have 5 minutes to do this, or 10 minutes to do this, or 15 minutes to do this, and if it takes longer than that, then I have to push it to the side and move to something else. I can't let that slow me down or back up my day or year or month or whatever it is. So
right.
Process has to change, but you have to know your process in order to change it. So you got to write it down.
So morbid curiosity, Ariel and I both have, is how many people help you deliver so many cars in a month?
Okay, so I have one secretary, my assistant. She handles all the paperwork. She handles pretty much all the paperwork. I don't do any of the paperwork at this point.
Okay.
And last year I hired a young man. He's kind of like my young legs. He's my personal porter, where he will take a customer out, grab a license plate, maybe walk a customer to a car, but neither of them sell. I'm the only one that sells. So I speak to every single person that buys a car. I'm the last person that they say bye to at the end of the day. So I do have two assistants, but each one has their own role. One is for paperwork, and one is kind of, I'm getting older, so I can't run around the parking lot like I used to. So he does that. But he can also do the delivery as well. He can set up Bluetooth and do all that good stuff.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Thank you, Ariel, for asking the question I wanted to ask. Okay.
Great question.
Next question. Damian, it's probably for you, but maybe for Ali as well. Robbie and Sabrina basically had the same question. They said, so how do I find a coach? How would you recommend me finding a coach? Where do I look for a good coach?
Well, that's what Ali had me get back into, was coaching, because I kind of moved away from it. And so part of what we did was we created a coaching program for our salespeople, and it's a community of salespeople that we get to help each other. They get to help each other. It's fairly new within the last year and or two, maybe a year. It's a little longer than that, but it's a way for us to help and not charge the stupid money that I would have to charge if I was just one-on-one coaching, because I don't have enough time anymore. And so that's the way to do it. And if you go through the Auto Success Blueprint, 40, 30, whatever number of videos are on it, and you feel like, you'd like to learn more, one of the challenges with people coming into the club is coming in not understanding the perspective we have. So we kind of, before they join, they understand what we're doing. They know us. They know that we're on this side of the fence, and if you're looking for word tracks, you're going to be disappointed because we're not there.
Right.
Wouldn't it be great if every salesperson's manager was a coach? Like, they really knew what they were doing.
They don't have the time, right? They don't have the time. They don't have the time. They're managing. Yeah, they're managing chaos. Right.
Robbie, who asked the question, wrote back and says, I'm in the Sales Hustlers group, so I have that, but I was looking for something more personal, kind of like what you two have.
That's not training. That's not training. That's not a coach. The groups online are good to kind of stay in contact with and to focus, with some people have good questions, but that's not training. You're not learning from those groups. Educating yourself is back to, watching some of Damian's stuff online, watching some of my stuff that I've done with Damian online. Educate yourself. I mean, and then it doesn't have to be somebody in the business, a coach. It can just be somebody, a life coach or a mentor or a parent or anybody that will kind of see things from outside in.
Okay.
Yeah, just so you know, one of the things, like Ali, he knew my content. I mean, he had been to the seminar. He had studied what I had been telling him. And so when we would do a coaching call, it's not a 6-minute call when we're one-on-one. I mean, we've had long conversations, right. But I mean, it's pretty much him telling me him telling me stuff. I'm asking him questions. I'm getting the picture, and then I'm saying, well, how would you do it this way? And him going, look, I got to go.
I bet that's happened a lot. Okay. Robbie says thank you. We got to get to some more questions. Okay. Josh says, what are digital tactics that you have used to sell 100 cars per month? Do you use any digital tactics, social media, iPad, texting?
No.
You have a phone?
Just my phone, I guess. Yeah.
Because he has
You know,
relationships with everyone, right?
yeah, yeah, and it's back to being involved in your community, right? So I can have, you know, being online is good. Being on social media is good. It will gain some popularity, but again, a guy in, you know, California that knows who I am doesn't bring my business, doesn't do anything for my business. So
Right.
I can't emphasize enough starting in your local community first before you get on this rabbit trail of social media that, you know, you're not going to sell any cars off of it. Okay, so if you're not doing it locally, you're not going to sell a car. That's it.
Okay,
But
Josh.
let me say, you'll sell cars, but it'll still be in the transactional model unless you can make that transactional model of somebody who drove 300 miles away into a meaningful personal relationship.
Right.
And so often it's about, I'm going to sell a car, but it's like, look, I'm going to put $10 in and I hope I get something back later. But, you know, they're going to give you $12 back. But Ali puts $10 in and he gets $12 back every 3 years, every 4 years, every 2 years. And now all of a sudden that $10 investment to get to know somebody has magnified because they're in his town. They're in his community. They can come back into that store. It's not just, there are people doing social media that are doing a great job, but they're spending a lot of hours on the rabbit trail. You know, this digital distractor is seriously costing them money.
Okay, Josh, great question. Thank you so much. All right, Sabrina's got an interesting question. Oh, Sabrina, you have the best questions. She says, what do you say to sales consultants whose personality isn't as outgoing or confident as Ali's, and how do they start becoming more outgoing and confident? So, Ali, you're like a unicorn.
No, I am not no different than anybody else that's on this call. I am no different than any other salesperson. I believe in myself and I'm confident that I have something to offer. But you know, so does she, and so does everybody else. So your clarity, back to clarity, you need to be clear of who you are at your best. And if you feel like you're doing the best you can for that person, that's all they want. That's all they want. You know, of course, not everybody's going to be as handsome as me, but you know, that's okay. That's all right. People will understand. People will understand that. It's okay. But so it's not this. This has nothing to do with it. What you look like and what it's right here. It's in your heart. It's what comes out of your heart that people care about. That's it. It doesn't matter.
Sabrina,
what
everything you need is already there. You're shy, you're timid, and yet you still have friends. They're attracted to you because of who you are, not because of who you might try to become. Stop trying to become something you're not. You're perfect. Don't change a thing. Accept, love, be yourself. And people will find you magnetic just because of your authenticity.
And the people that don't are not the people you want to be doing business with or friendship with anyways.
Yeah.
Damn, Sabrina, life coaching right now, girl. All right,
Yes.
Sabrina, we wish you the very best of luck. By the way, Cameron wrote in, says, I don't even sell full time, and I'm ready to go out and boost my salary with 12 cars a month. Lots of great info. Time to learn. Thank you so much. Thank you, Cameron.
So cool. So cool.
Okay, last handful of questions because we got to button this up. Dan, oh my gosh, Dan, I cannot believe you're asking this question. Dan says, so what's the take-home pay on a world record selling salesperson? It seems like it would be the ceiling for what's possible for salespeople pay-wise.
Yeah, there's no limit. There is no limit. I can guarantee you there is no limit. And
so could you sell more?
Yes.
Yes, but that's not his next level. Tell him what your next level is.
Right. My next level is not to sell more at this point. It's actually to work a little bit less. So I'm trying to get to the point where I can work 4 days a week, and I'm off Saturdays and Sundays now. So I'd like to work maybe Monday through Thursday, and that would be what I'm focusing on now. But you know, what you make in this business is there's no ceiling. You know, is 7 figures possible? Yes.
Dan, I hope you're satisfied with that answer. Thank you so much for your candor, Ali, on that one. Okay, Sabrina's, we do still have a handful of questions, but Sabrina does actually have the next question. She says, what can management do to assist sales consultants to think bigger, or is it really just an internal salesperson's drive?
They can learn what I'm teaching.
Right.
They can open up their mind and saying, yes, I know all this. And they do. They know the whole transactional side. But just be open to hearing another way. Just get the Keep It Simple Selling book and just read it. And read it from the perspective of if I was selling it. And then read it from the perspective of if I was going to teach it, how could I teach this? And what would I want to teach based on the values and morals and the work ethic of my store or of you? Learn, and managers, you fought so hard to get to that chair. And it's like so many managers got to that chair and they said, I'll never learn again. Now don't lose the chair. Okay, just don't get your ass fired. Okay?
Whatever I did to get here, that's what I got to keep doing.
Make them aware. Make them aware of what's possible. You know, just say, hey, look what this person is doing. This is what's possible. You know, work ethic and mindset are two keys that they can kind of focus on, but just make them aware of what other people are doing.
Okay.
I mean, this is possible.
Okay. So now we've talked about the manager, but I got to ask you, Ali, you're selling a lot of cars a month. Do the other salespeople at your dealership, have they learned from you? Do they do the same thing? Could any one of them break your world record now? I mean, are they doing relationship selling?
I mean, they learn from me and I help them on a daily basis, but, you know, you have to do the work. You know, they can see it, but maybe they don't want to go out there and go to those charity events. Maybe they don't want to go meet every business owner in the community. Maybe they don't want to put in the time. But, you know, of course they learn and they all do pretty well. And I'm there to help them and they're my family. They're my family there. So I'm no better than any of them and nor are they for me. And, you know, we have a very good culture in the dealership that we're at.
There's a lot of high achievers at that store. There's people who've been in the store for years who just love the people who come in to see them. They're not trying to cultivate really new business, but they take care of their business. One of the top Corvette salesmen in the country works in that store. You know, there's a lot of high achievers at that store. You know, the Stanfords, that's about them. The Scott Montgomery, that's about leadership, y'all.
Right.
Okay. Great answers. Okay. Still a few more questions. Mark wrote in, are your strategies different whether working with retail versus fleet or commercial customers? Well, first of all, I guess we got to ask, do you sell fleet or commercial?
Okay, so that's a really easy one. Anyways, they're all retail. I don't do any fleet or wholesale.
Okay, but if you
I don't know that side of the business. I mean, I would be the same, right? If I was dealing with somebody with fleet, I would still be the same. Whether they're buying one car or I might have a family come in and they're buying 3 cars. And I know they're in the waiting room and the person in front of me may not even qualify for a car. It doesn't matter. I'm treating that person that's in front of me first, and then I get to that next person. So I'm not changing for anyone. I'm still going to be the way I am. So I don't do any fleet or wholesale, but retail I treat everybody the same no matter what it is.
I'll give you a fleet. Imagine the guy asking the question. Imagine you're a fleet person. Mm-hmm. And you've got a customer, you love them, you take them fishing, you're friends with them, right? And then every year they get together to get all of the new bids, right? The new people trying to get their business. And all of them pitch how much they're going to save them in money. And then your announcement is, look, I appreciate all these people coming in. Man, they're giving you a great deal. I'm going to keep everything the same, and you know what you get with me. And I hope you keep doing business with me, And look, just so you know, that we're still going to go duck hunt. Whether you choose one of these young bucks or not, we're going duck hunt because I love you. And but y'all do business with whoever. Imagine that's your presentation about getting the business of that business. And that's what you do with relationships, fleet people. You go in there and then they give you the 200 truck order again this year.
Thank you very much. Great questions. They're still coming in, by the way. The questions are still coming in. For instance, Mikey wants to know if this is recorded. Yes, we're recording it. We'll send you the link later today. Look out for that. Mark says, I dislike communicating by text, messenger, etc., but find myself having to do it more and more instead of talking on the phone or in person. What are your thoughts? Do you text, Ali?
Yeah, I do. I mean, people are busy. Some people, that's what they like. And, for me, it kind of saves me time too. But you got to remember on a text message, because I'm so busy throughout the day, I still got to sound like me. So if somebody writes me a paragraph, I shouldn't respond with one word. So you still got to sound like yourself. You still got to sound like you care, because it still comes across on a text message that way. You know, be cautious of how you're writing the message. People can take it the wrong way, and there's still feeling in text messages. So it's still, yeah, it's the way things are going. Get familiar with it, get comfortable with it, but only say the things that you're comfortable saying. Don't say something just because it's a text message. And at the end of the day, if I'm not understanding something, I always put on there, please call me. And then I'll carry the conversation on the phone. So you could try that, and they might respond, I'm busy at work, I can't talk, or I'll call you later, and then you'll kind of know their position of why they're texting. But it's not an issue saying, please call me.
Okay.
Communicate in the modality that they like communicating in, and you have to communicate in the modality you like communicating in. So mine is verbal. So I will leave video or voice texts sometimes because you can hear my inflection.
Right.
And sometimes when you put down 5 words, the person could attach a meaning that has nothing to do with the 5 words that you put down there.
Correct.
And misread it based on their past or their journey. So be clear with your communication, talk from your heart, and do it in the modalities that the customer likes. Find a way for yourself to be comfortable so that you're helpful.
Fair enough. And I mean, I'm not the only one who uses voice text, right? I mean, you can send your voice through text, and you can send your own voice through Facebook Messenger. So utilize all of those things, Mark.
Video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, video. Whole nother story there. All right, Mark, thank you so much for the great question. Okay, Cameron wrote back in and said, outside of the dealership, I am, for lack of a better term, a freelance preacher. And it seems like Damian's advice for salespeople is the same as I give people struggling with their faith and difficult times in their life. It's all about love and having personal relationships, and not just saying, I know a guy or I know someone, but truly knowing someone. Accurate?
Right. Great. Yes, absolutely. I like what he's saying. And it's not just about dealerships. It's about life, right? We're talking about life.
We're all in this ship together. So
Yes.
Cameron, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much, Cameron. Okay, Dan says, prediction. This world record is going to be broken in the next 3 years. No fleet and no digital? There is so much more volume on the table with e-commerce and the 30-plus unit fleet deals. Oh, Dan, all right, if you think so. Ali, do you have...
There are already people in the fleet world selling more than 1,500, but they're not qualified in the world of this record. The next thing is there are 3 salespeople right now that will probably beat Gerard's record in the next 3 years, 2 years maybe, that are in the 85 to the 100 range. And they might get to a point where they stop. But right now, they are where he was 2 years ago, right? And so it's possible that more people can do it, and it's going to take adjustments to do it, because this journey we've been on has been like, oh my God, I can't believe that's a game changer. Over and over again, we've said that.
Right.
Yeah, and I encourage it.
Do it. Dan, you think you got the goods? Do it. Show us. Thank you so much,
Just get to
Dan.
your next level first, Dan. Don't be looking at records. Look at the next person you come in contact with. That's the only person that matters.
And last question comes in from Joanne. Joanne says, are you giving any training sessions in Virginia? And if not, when can you give a training session in Virginia?
I have before, and my promoters, when they come to Virginia, they'll reach out to you. I've been in Washington, Virginia, and Richmond, and you know, if you're interested in having me come to your marketplace, and you have a group of dealers that say, well, look, send your guy here. I don't really go do dealer in houses. I don't think they stick, and I don't think they last. But I would invite you to connect with Bob Moore, and I guess we're going there next.
Actually, yeah, I was going to say, go to the next slide.
Okay, so if you want this guy, Bob Moore, right here, he's the #1 promoter in the history of the car business. He got Jackie Cooper started. He promoted Grant Cardone for 13 years. And then for some reason, crazy reason, 8 years ago, he thought 9 years ago, I guess, he thought that I might be good enough for people to listen to, and he started promoting me. And if you'll reach out to him and say, we're here, could you come see us next? and there's a group that he can go in and market to, and he'll do the whole community, and I would love to meet y'all. John Kostakis is another one who does it for me. He's beautiful and brilliant. He's also up in the Canada market as well. So
audience, keep your ears to the grindstone about when you and where you can hear Damian speak live. But yeah, Damian has these upcoming sales seminars. So if you're going to be in the Cleveland area, June 5th and 6th, or the Shreveport, Louisiana area, June 21 or 22, I wouldn't pass up the opportunity to see somebody who has been so inspiring to so many, and who even to this day, Ali says, is still inspiring to him, and he's the world record holder. So, I mean, I'm inspired, and I don't even sell cars, so I'm just letting y'all know that. Ali, Damian, easily one of my most favorite webinars I have ever done. Thank you, gentlemen. And I've been doing this a long time. You two are fantastic. And if you, by any chance, recover from this marathon webinar that we've had today and feel like you can do it again, I would love to have you guys back on the show. I think you two are just a spectacular team. I mean, Damian, you say the way to do it, the mindset, and Ali, you say how you took that mindset and made it actually happen, and the results that you got. I mean, gosh, just A+. A+++. So thank you so much,
it's such
gentlemen.
a pleasure to be here. Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here, and I love my buddy for everything that he does, and he's a wonderful person, more than a coach and a trainer. He's made me a better person, not just a better salesperson, and I'm so thankful for him. And I hope to grow this relationship with you, Aliana. So we appreciate you, and of course, DealerOn.
You and I, we've already discussed this. We have to go out for some hummus and some tabbouleh and some kafta.
We have, yes, we have. So all the people behind the scenes at DealerOn, we thank you so much too for having us, and we so appreciate being here. And we wish everybody massive success and joy and happiness.
Happy selling, everyone. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Of course, I want to remind the audience that a link to download a copy of today's webinar recording is going to be emailed to you later today for your reference. Dudes, share it. Yes, share it with your friends and colleagues. It was amazing. You can also find it online within 24 hours. Go to dealeron.com/webinars to view our upcoming webinar schedule or access any of our past webinars as well. And yes, you're going to get a short survey. It is literally 3 questions. Please fill it out. We want to know what you thought of today's presentation. I know it ran long, but hopefully you'll give us some great feedback. We'd love to know what you thought. And let me see. Oh, you have a webinar exclusive special offer also that you can find in that survey. So if you're a Honda, Chevy, or Toyota dealer, you can save almost $5,000 a year on the industry's best SEO. Dude, seriously, we get awards for it and stuff. It's amazing SEO. Sounds great, right? Just check yes at the end of the webinar in the survey, and we'll make some magic happen for you. Remember, it's a webinar-only exclusive offer. Thank you so much. And invitations will be going out tomorrow for our next DealerOn webinar. 5 digital retailing mistakes that you really should avoid. Are you interested in adding digital retailing to your dealership website, but you don't know how? You're not alone. Many dealerships flounder when it comes to launching online commerce solutions for their store. So we're bringing in some big guns to help you out. Rudy Thune, COO at Roadster, is going to show you what it really takes to be profitable with a digitized commerce platform at your dealership. He's going to discuss the 5 common and costly mistakes that he's seen dealers make and how to avoid them. Additionally, he's going to share real-world examples of top dealerships across the country who've successfully deployed a digital retailing platform and are reaping the huge rewards. Attendees of this fast-paced 1-hour webinar will learn how to develop your long-term digitization plan, identify advocates in your store who can ensure success, prepare your team for the transition and redefine roles for the future, build consumer trust in your omni-channel sales model, and launch fast and show efficient gains early, and so much more. So if you're planning to roll out a digital retailing solution this year and you want to avoid costly missteps, then don't you dare miss this webinar. Register now. Don't forget, DealerOn's weekly webinars are held every Thursday, 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific. And if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions regarding our webinars and our topics, well, hey, get in touch with me. I'd love to hear from you. My name is Eliana Raggio. I'm everywhere. I'm on all the automotive social networks. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, you name it. Or you know what? Just email me directly at eliana@dealeron.com. I would love to hear from you. Now, on behalf of Ali and Damian and all the good folks over at DealerOn, I want to thank you all so very much for spending this time with us today. And I hope to see you all on another webinar in our continuing education series. Take care, everyone. Happy selling. Love each other.
Thank everybody. Grateful.